as I was praying about what the Lord might be saying, I just reflected on what the Lord has been saying to me. The fact is that this is like this season of ministry feels really uncertain, unsure, very uncharted territory that we're in. And there were several things that the Lord has been speaking to me. But one of the things that really grabbed my heart for our church, and I think some of the things that the Lord might be saying to us, is found in Joshua chapter 24. In Joshua chapter 24, there's this incredible sort of swan song, last thing Joshua's going to say. He's going to die in this very same chapter. And so he has just a period of time to say some things that are really, really important to his community of faith. And before he goes, he shares these things. So it's like a covenant renewal ceremony. I don't have to explain that to you guys. You guys know what's going on. It's a covenant renewal ceremony. And in a covenant renewal ceremony, you reflect back on what God has done. You are introspective in terms of how your response has been to God, both in the past and in the present. And then God gives instruction for the future. And so he says, just as he's about to leave, he has this one verse, he's giving them all this instruction. Hey guys, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. And then he goes, now then, in verse 23, he says, now then, said Joshua, throw away your foreign gods. Throw away the foreign gods that are among you and yield your hearts to the Lord. Throw away the foreign gods that are among you and yield your hearts to the Lord. I think that the reason that this struck me so hard is because I personally and corporately in my leadership have some idols that I've depended on, that I've trusted in order to make it through, that are not Jesus. You know what idols are, right? Idols are anything you run to save you other than Jesus. And so he says, in this crucial time where you're going to go into this new thing that God has given, where you're going to go into this new moment in time, I don't want you to go back to what you used to do. I don't want you to rehearse where your ancestors came from and worship the things that they did or do the things that they did. What I want you to do is I want you to do these two things. There's this throwing out, and then there's this holding on. And the throwing out is those idols. And I got to imagine that some of us have had to examine in our own hearts some of the things that we've been doing all along that don't work in this new reality. And let's face it, we're under a lot of stress. And when we're under a lot of stress, I've been around pastors long enough to understand that we fall back to certain comforts that are not of Christ. And so there are things that we run to that are not Jesus, things that we run to that are not saviors, that we look to save us. And those things are not where we find our comfort. So he says, throw away those foreign idols. And for me, I've been examining those personally. I've been examining those within the context of my leadership. I've been examining those in terms, of course, of our church here. So throw away those idols. And the other is yield your heart to the Lord. Yield your heart to the Lord. And that's a silly thing to say, right? Because we're leaders and preachers and worship leaders and all that stuff here. And the fact is that there might be areas, I know that there are areas in my own heart that are not yielded to the Lord, surrendered to the Lord. And so what does it look like to yield my heart to the Lord? Well, certain things have happened where the Lord has just impressed upon me the importance and the intensity of at least three things. One is not doing more, actually doing less. The temptation to do more at this point, to be frantic, to make a thing happen, is not good for my soul or for our church at this point. So to do less, and I don't mean being lazy. I still get up, go to work. I still do my job. But what I'm talking about is finding what God is looking for to do in this day or this week or this month, and then giving myself to that, yielding my heart to him, even though my heart or I might think that these other things might be important. Another thing is that the Lord has just been encouraging me to spend uncomfortable amounts of time in Scripture. Just taking in Scripture, reading it slowly, allowing it to shape my thinking for this new season. That's what yielding. And then the other is simply being still. There's this in there's so many verses that we can go back to. The idea of being still or alone with God, for me, has not traditionally been something that I've pursued, but I've discovered that it is an incredible joy and gift, and that the Lord has been speaking. And so, and such a what might the Lord be saying to us then? How do we apply this? Well, there might be some things in your lives that you depend on for stress relief. It might be a beer in the fridge. It might be a click of a terrible website. It might be overworking or hiding in some hobby. I don't know what it is, but we need to throw away those gods. Those things all they do is they numb us to our desperate need for Jesus. That's all idols do. When I either overeat or do even good things, they just numb me to my desperate need for Jesus. So throw away those foreign gods. And then secondly, yield my heart to the Lord. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 30 minutes. The Lord knows what's going to happen in the next 300 years. And so yielding my heart to the Lord and finding in his word, being quiet before him and allowing him to direct me throughout the day, and even further out if he wants to, has been a great comfort to my heart and a great gift to my church. I hope that's helpful for you. God bless you, and thanks for this opportunity and being patient and listening.